So as we get underway with this session of Viewer Levels, we will first begin with a warm-up that is from my queue of recommended codes that had been circulated around Twitch or just observed or otherwise sent to me. Today we will be looking at something by Jimzan. Jimzan is a maker who is new to me, but who has been making rounds and submitting good levels on Twitch lately, and this is Sidon's Revenge, which I believe must be named for Sidon, the Zora Prince from Breath of the Wild, given that Jimzan's record of levels has quite a few Zelda-themed creations. So we'll take a look at this, we'll follow the map and defeat Sidon and his minion. Good luck. This is, of course, assuming that the Mario Maker servers cooperate with us this evening. See, this is why we need a warm-up level. It's not just to kind of get seated comfortably and to get our hands on a controller, but also just generally to remember how to speak the language again. So we see what looks like a bit of a Zelda dungeon minimap in the top middle that has the boss room clearly labeled, a shell room that could be an item placement, and a key room that's all the way to the right. So we'll grab the Master Sword and bomb our way through. Assuming, of course, that we know how to get rid of the Chop Stump, which I think you can just hit with a downward thrust. And we'll bomb our way down and proceed to the next room. Okay, so we see a Muncher blocking that path, a Chop Stump that will probably be stopped, a jump block that might be something interesting, but we don't know. Nope, nothing interesting there. A bomb that will presumably unlock that door over there, but see if that does anything. Oh, I see it. So it looks like we'll probably need to bump the Muncher over in such a way that allows us... Let's think about this. Yeah, probably shield bump the Muncher in such a way that it allows it to fall off this cloud block onto here, and it will spring its way upward, and presumably from there hit something that will trigger the bomb. I think this is... yeah, 2 cloud blocks under there. Yes, Adrelonso07, welcome. If you type in !worlds, you will see my rules for worlds. What I do is, if you submit a world, I will at least play World 1 or 2 the first game over. And then if there are other people in the queue, I will get to them first, but then you can resubmit if you want me to continue to World 2. So yes, I do accept worlds. And so go ahead and submit your maker code if that's what you want to do. But if there are other people waiting, I do them one world at a time, not all in one go. Oops. Grab the sword, and let's do the properly. There we go. That is indeed the solution. And let's proceed. Okay. So we see another Muncher and bomb setup will unblock the pipe. And we see a stump here that will have to be stomped from above as soon as we get rid of the Muncher above here. I think there are a couple of ways we could do this. Clearly something is meant to drop off that music block and down onto the bomb. It looks like it actually might be kind of cheesable if you're just very good about your bomb timing, because you can presumably spawn a bomb underwater and just bomb your way through that way. That will probably not be the intended solution, so let's just think about this carefully. So our objective will be to unblock the pipe first, and then see what it gives us. So how do we pump this guy? Possibly with a bomb. And the impact was... Oh, no, okay. You can just go through the pipe. So we don't... Ah, yes, we need the Buzzy Helmet. The Buzzy Helmet will do it for us. So in order to do that, we will, first of all, find some way to send an object, like a shell careening through there. And the platform, will it go up first before it goes down? Yes, it does. Reset through the door. And thank you for the host to be back. Always glad to see you around. Okay, so here we are. Yeah, it looks like we need to find some way to get the shell across here. So, without the ability to pick up an object, how do we do that? Good. Find some way to bump it upwards. Yeah, okay, so the objective is to get the shell up here somehow and bump it. Now, do we know the interaction for that? Yes, we do. It involves just using the sword and... yeah. And lifting it all the way here, and then giving it a kick, trapping it between the one-way panel and the wall, and then raising it to hit the switch. And that will give us the on-off interaction to take us into the next room. Okay, so we're going to get the Shellmet. We aren't, of course, now, if you look at the mini-map, in the Shellmet room, but we know the Shellmet that will give us the way through to the Muncher lock that is 2 rooms prior, right over here. So, let's pump this. Drop a replacement Shellmet. That gives us a bit of item progression. Stop this. And there we go. That unlocks our way to the next room after that. Looks like this will be a mini-boss. Ludwig playing the part of Prince Sidon. Rather more vengeful than original form. Okay, so we need to send something through the bumper gate. I think it will actually be bumping these with our head. Which is perhaps trickier than it looks, but there's one hit. And we've got a couple of replacement Shellmets to do this multiple times over. We will probably run out of time on this attempt, though. Very interesting. This was a level that came up very shortly after the patch, within a week of the patch, and so this is already a very fresh interaction with the newly introduced Koopalings. Oh, whoops. There we go. Hey, Cinda, welcome. Thank you for reading the rules. We do take levels of all genres, all styles. We can't promise to finish the ones that are longer, but we normally will go back to unfinished levels over multiple attempts, or even in a separate session, so... And anything you like, we will at least take a look at it. Oops. We've only gotten one hit on Ludwig so far. This is surprisingly difficult to execute when you're trying to dodge everything at the same time. Eventually, I think we will manage it. Thank you for the code. Cool as a Cucumber will be the first one that is up tonight after I finish this one. Now, we need to make use of the fact that the Shellmet actually does defend us against the projectiles if we come up from below. We are going to hit the clock on this attempt, though. And we'll need to retry this from scratch, for sure. But we spent a lot of time just figuring out the first few rooms in a level and generally talking, so everything should go faster from here. Okay, so here we are again. We know all the solutions, so let's just flow our way through the dungeon. On this spot. And down we go. Okay. Maybe get rid of some of these cheeps here for the purpose of spacing. Bump this down. Shield bump the muncher over. And that will unlock the door to the top right. Always have a little bit of trouble timing that interaction, but thankfully we have some replacement Master Swords. Whoops. Get a nice high bounce in that block, and there we go. Okay. This we know already to be a room where we need to continue proceeding to the left. This we know already to be a room where doing the double hit, triple hit on the shell allows us to move it upstairs. Oh, no. Good thing we stopped that. We may be in a bit of trouble now. Okay, here we go. Let's do this a little more carefully. Come up from this side. Now we bump it. And now we hit this. And that takes us to the Shelmet unlock. You can see the boss door that is to the left. We're going to unlock once we obtain the big key. Charlie, LTC, thank you for the submission of 1-4 Squirrel in the Ghost House. Charlie, if that is part of a completed world, we also do play worlds. We just play them one world at a time or until the first game over, so... but if you want me to look at that individual level, that's great too. I will gladly do that. And I'm doing alright. I hope you are doing fine as well. We just started this session, so we will be going for quite some time. And you're fairly early in the queue, so we'll hopefully see yours very soon. That is, assuming that we know how to bump this with our heads. We're quite bad at this interaction, actually. We ran out of time on our previous attempt. Of course, any of the projectiles, if we come up from under, that will be sufficient to defend ourselves. That's one hit, 2 more to go. Rather convenient for our purposes that Ludwig is trapped well out of the way. 2 hits. 300 seconds remaining. Now I assume that Ludwig is going to drop a key, because that is, after all, what we see on the minimap. This is a mini-boss key room. And that will allow us to get to the big key that is the west side of the dungeon. The locked door. I saw there. Hey, 3 hits. That's the key. And we'll have to make our way back, probably slap this cheap in the face. Plenty of time to spare. The on-off state is of course still set to off. Item progression has been controlled by the Shelmet. Hitting the POW with a bow and arrow will drop all the coins, so... Now, interestingly, it's kind of a bonus where you only get 1 attempt to hit the POW, because if you hit the on-off switches, like that, you lose the opportunity to grab the POW unless you, of course, go back to the previous rooms. And indeed, let's see how we're doing here. Yeah, it looks like this is a bit of a dead end anyway, so we're going to be looking for something that requires the interaction of the on state and the Shelmet, because that's what's going to take us over to the boss room from the original. We can, of course, try to make another attempt at that bonus shot to the POW, because that's how I like to play our levels and spend our time. Why don't we do that? Let's just make one more attempt at it. Oh. I'll have to redo that. Yeah, this one has been pretty neat so far. This is a maker who has made a lot of Zelda dungeons, actually, and this is my first time seeing one of his. So I'll post a code at the end if you folks are interested. I hope I've left myself enough time to actually see the end boss. Of course, I'm burning like 100 seconds just on trying to do this properly. Yeah, that's a miss. Let's not do it. We don't need the coins that badly. But we tried. Okay, so we'll go back to the introductory room following the pathway on the minimap. And that should take us up to the boss room. Now that we have the on-off switch in the appropriate state and also the Shelmet. The interaction of those two things should be how this works. Yes. Because that allows you to raise the Muncher. That will give us this Shelmet. Okay, that's why we need to hit the spike here. Now we can think about what else we can break. That was actually rather unexpected. I remember that being the thing we unlock. But we'll just go back and traverse the dungeon a little more. We might actually just run out of time and have to redo this, but meantime, let's see what we can break. We'll see if, spatially speaking, we were actually paying attention to anything that was going on. I was pretty sure it said boss room over to the left there. Yoshi-sa, welcome, and thank you for the submission of something in Korean that might be in 30 seconds, I assume. I'm afraid I don't read Korean, but it has the number 30 in it. And so that's just the inference I'll make. It could be that if we go back all the way to Ludwig's room, that we'll see what we can actually break with the spiny hat. I assumed that was just the kind of boss store that was signified over there, but I might be totally wrong. We have to go back and take a look. Because this is just not the interaction I was expecting at all. Okay. Oh, nothing through that pipe. Can we break anything with the spiny hat? Not here. Alright, let's go back to Ludwig's room. And that will probably be the answer, because it will be on the right side of its respective subworld, and that may lead us directly to the key. Gotta be a little quicker about this, I think. Does it allow us to break anything here? No, okay. I don't think I actually see the exit then. So we've seen almost every room, right? What do we miss? Assumed. Okay. Clearly there's something we can break or kill using the spiny hat that we just haven't seen yet. Was it in one of these rooms? I didn't think so. Gotta follow the minimap a little more closely. Go left again. No, I don't see it. Huh. Interesting. It looks like we're supposed to be right above the boss room there. And I would have thought that we accessed it from the original entryway. As we know, the blue pipe here spawns to Spiny Hat. Oh, no, I see. It's the pipe that's right above the Master Sword. It's gotta be this. Yeah, we just completely missed it because we didn't read the map properly. Right, so this is the boss gate. You are allowed to go through the boss gate using Spiny Hat, I think, because allow you to bump your way around Puncher here. Okay, we got it. So pardon me as I make us all the way back around so we can get back to the Ludwig fight and hopefully do that quickly. There we go. Okay, we know how all the puzzles flow from here. It's just the mid-boss that takes us the longest time to get through. Oh. This puzzle interaction is, of course, always a lot of fun. Pick this thing. Grab the hat and go back. Whoops. Okay. Got this hat. Got this. And we will proceed to the next room here. Let's try to do this cleanly. Oh, no. Yes. A very unique skill-based challenge that feels very much unlike most other fights in Mario Maker. And Ludwig's a pretty good fit for this as far as the Koopalings go, just because of the triple projectile that allows him to fire down here into this lower space, which will not be the case for, I think, the other Koopalings, in terms of how the collisions will work out. Big Cheeto, welcome. Thank you for the submission of your maker code as Big Cheeto. Okay. Haven't gotten one hit yet on this attempt. Let's do this a little bit quickly. I think leaving ourselves enough time for the final boss might be an issue. There may be a checkpoint before the final boss, but there is no checkpoint that we've seen so far, partly because the flow of the level does depend heavily on preserving certain things like the state of the on-off switches, and also just the continuous item progression over whether you have unlocked things like the Buzzy Shell. Okay, that's one hit. Let's try to get two more. I mean, the Buzzy Shell does defend you, once again, against the projectiles, but it's surprisingly stressful to try to dodge those, even if you know that your top half is safe. There we go. Yes, Big Cheeto, it is absolutely okay that you put in your Maker ID. When I put your code in, we'll just talk then about what it is I should play. Because some people will submit me Maker IDs, you know, to leave things up to my choice. Some people submit them to submit me in their worlds, and some others just submit the codes because they have lost track of which levels they've already set. So it's absolutely okay. Maker IDs work just fine. Okay, we missed the bonus coins once again. And yeah, if you have a wide variety of levels for me to choose from, that will work out well, because then I can decide based on, you know, how long the queue is at that point, what kind of difficulty I'm feeling like, how much time I want to spend. And sometimes those judgments will depend on how the whole viewer level session is going. Because I like to do a mix of short and long levels, or easy and hard. So, looking forward to all that. We didn't grab the spiny shell, we need to go back and do that. So let's unlock this. We do have to take damage here. Have a spiny shell that allows us to make our way through the boss gate. Okay, great. Thanks for letting me know that, then. I'll lose that, hit a checkpoint, and let's hit the boss. Oh, okay, so it's like a music boss. Or it's just a completion screen with music. Okay. Oh, it is a boss. I'm gonna turn my local volume up, because over here, I could not actually hear the music very well. Just one moment while I tweak some of my settings while I actually read the boss properly. Okay, so we can shield our way out of that. We can hit on-off switches, and what does that do? It spawns a shell to the left like that. I don't think that's really that useful. Oh, something at the bottom is hitting that POW. I guess the on-off state actually restricts him and holds him in position. So if you hit... Ah yes, if you hit off, that allows him to spawn the shell. Until then, he can't. Now, what does that allow us to do? We want to ultimately deflect a shell back at him from down here. So yeah, what we'll do is we'll head up. Once the shell spawns, we knock it down here, and then we knock it to the right. I think that's almost certainly how to do it. So let's spawn a shell. I'm blocking him. Okay. Now we hit. Hit number 1. Okay, great. We just do that twice more. Yeah, I love how the custom music loaded into this fight. And that will give us the key. Yeah, Godmano, there was a big loading section where it loaded into music on tracks and kept the music going while we did the rest of the boss. Now, how is it that that cloud is breakable? Is there something, some kind of mechanic I don't know about that allows you to stomp through the cloud as Link? I actually don't know what it would be, unless we needed to have some kind of item carried forward with us. Anyway, 15 seconds left. Let's actually grab the clear. Okay, so that was a really lovely creation. I loved the custom boss music at the end. I think that was certainly something that stood out about this whole dungeon. Thank you for the follow. And let's get to the queue. Hey, if you folks want to take a closer look at that one, I'll just type the code into chat. This is not one of my levels. This is a level by somebody else that has been making rounds, and I was told it was fairly impressive, and it was. So here it is, and let's move on. Okay, Cinda, thank you for sticking around. You will be first. Let's take a look at N90, F2C, Q6G, yeah, cool as a cucumber. This is very new, freshly uploaded. And so thank you for offering me an opportunity to get the first clear. I do appreciate it when people give me a chance at doing that, even if I don't always do it. Ready to have some fun with Finicky bumpers. Sound on, red coins mandatory, so... sound appears to be working still. Turn our volume up a bit. And... let's keep an eye out for those red coins. I see that there's going to be quite a lot of Zappa Mecha Koopa laser beams that are going to be coming our way already. And we will just have to make it through. Okay, let's, whoops. Totally missed the mushroom. Oh yeah, we could totally have flown up top. Okay, that was embarrassing, but... yeah, we could totally have gone up the high route. After we stop dying to the really easy stuff. Okay, let's drop this guy. Grab a mushroom. And, actually, we can just make it up there with a normal jump. Now, why is it telling us to do a spin jump out there? Not really sure, but... oh, I see, so we can land safely. Well, very considerate. Okay, so here's something gated by either the power of fire or some other mechanism that we have not seen. Here's our first sight of a pink coin, and that will require just coming in from below, probably with a spin jump. We should have been a bit more careful with that. Adjusted our position. We're springing all the ways around. Hey, Blanco Grayscale. Welcome, and thank you for the submission of your maker code. Okay, we'll safely descend. I wonder if there's something that will take us back through that lower semi-solid there. That looks very suspicious. But it might just be decorative. Oh, here's something. Love how the sorry, not a mushroom, but a snowman decoration just clues you into this little door here. Will give you a bonus and also a preview of the horror that is to come. Okay, let's get a jump on all this. So yeah, it looks like eventually we'll need... actually no, we can just spin jump over those spinies down below. And hit this. That will allow us to proceed quite safely. There's a checkpoint already. We missed in the lower segment, of course. We'll need to think about how to do that. So, there's the power of fire that we've been looking for. And we don't have the means to get the 50 coin yet, so I assume that there will be either a Yoshi or some way to bounce off an enemy. Let's just go forward. Nope, that was bad. Burners, burners, burners. Oh. Very poor timing on my part, but... yeah, okay, we got a checkpoint so far with 1 coin in the bag. Let's just take it forward safely. A little afraid of that guy. There we go. Not much better. Let's wait 1 cycle. Oh yeah, spikes overlaid in semi-solids. I totally didn't see the semi-solids or the P-switch trigger because I was looking over in chat. Yeah, I actually didn't see the top of that surface, but you are quite correct. Quite correct. Not entirely correct. That was a bit of a troll trap. But now we know. Didn't expect a troll trap in this level. That was maybe a little unfortunate. Okay, so it seems so, because we haven't figured out what actually triggered the P-switch here. Oh, there's the P-switch on the right side. Okay, so that's by proximity. You scroll forward and there is some kind of bomb trigger that drops that. Okay. So we just need to avoid that whole segment, I think, until we have some way to sit on spikes. Like with a Yoshi or something. No. Except at the checkpoint, we don't really have many other options for how to proceed, so let's just think about this for a moment. It's funny, because this level actually looks so normal up to this point, and then this stuff starts happening. Like, it looks perfectly normal up to this point. And then it subverts your expectations. Okay. That's how we're doing it. We're going to let the P-switch expire. The P-switch expires, and then it's only going to be hit once, because I didn't see it lodged on a pipe or anything. So it loses the fire flower, but we don't have fire, and that's a problem because we needed fire in order to get through the right side. But given the trollishness of the interaction, maybe something else will happen. And that's what will happen. Oh, don't grab the safety coin. Hey, look, there's a pipe. And look at that, reusable check. Oh, okay, don't grab the safety coin. Okay, we grabbed the safety coin. Let's start over. So the thing that is apparently trollish about this level is that you don't even have any reason to expect it to be a troll level. It's very normal looking, look at that. Very normal. And it just does a little sneak attack on you, whoops. Up here, that's just a 1-up, I'm pretty sure. Yeah. So innocent. So innocent. And... okay, so... that was what took us up. We should explore the lower path again. Last time, we got as far as the spin jump on top of the third spiny there, and headroom strains us a little bit, but... whoops. That was terrible. We need to think about how we can safely get that fire flower, because the issue with the fire flower was that the P-switch dropped it, and then the end of the P-switch timer just kills it. So here's a coin. We know that it takes us to the pipe that has a reusable checkpoint with the safety coin. Let's think about that. Okay, so we saw another fire flower location up ahead, though, didn't we? Okay, let's actually land our spin jumps accurately. I was trying to compensate a little too hard for the ceilings there. Look at the arrow. Okay. So we'll see how much we can trust the arrow locations in this level. So yeah, we didn't really need a Divine over here, did we? That's just a 1-up. It gives us a preview of the bumper segment. Look at the arrow. Probably arrow on the other end. Yeah, sure, let's look at a hint on the Fire Flower. We never know. Let's just drop over to these guys and grab that first coin again. Okay. This actually allows you to go back. Once we land, though, we can't really... yeah, we can. We can just come back through here. How did I miss that the first time? I have no idea. However, respawning from the checkpoint will start with this on the off position, which is fine because you can just spawn the Spinies and hit the switch again. So let's save coin progress. And yeah, eventually we'll want to head down that way. Yeah, sure, let's look at that again. Just to see if we understand it any differently. Arrow. Okay. Well, there's nothing to hit over here. Is there anything to hit over here? No. One moment. Look at the P-switches that are kind of in the middle there as well. That just drops you on spikes. It could be that the P-switch, like once it activates, we run back to the left. And... I mean, that is a bit invisible, obviously, but... Let's... grab reusable checkpoints. I mean, there are really just two ways to progress down in the lower segment. One being spin jump better on the Spinies. Two being have the Fire Flower available for the walk down there. So yeah, so we see an arrow here. We're high up enough that I don't think there will be any kind of P-related interaction that we don't already know about, but could always be wrong. So if there would be, we would be able to scroll the camera. Oh, look, that hits you anyway. Okay, come on, let's activate. There we go. Yeah, okay, so that kills the flower. The other thing you could do, obviously, is see if you can slide through here with the mushroom. You activate a P-switch and have some invincibility frames. You have the invincibility frames and you still wouldn't be able to grab the flower, because even if you jump on the wigglers, you would take damage when you land on the flower and hit the spikes, and that would leave you in a mushroom state down here, which is not good enough. Okay, let's go back the other way. I'm going to grab the mushroom. Look right, only right. Look right, only right. Okay. So, toggling on-off releases these gates here. That's just a lower passage below us. Twisters take you up here. Yeah, so spin jumping off the lower segment probably won't do much for us. Let's do this stuff again. Look right, only right. Oh, okay, okay. So it's like a don't look left contraption? Is that... Okay. Maybe not the most obvious thing. Oh, it totally is a don't look left setup. Okay. I see, yeah. So... Alright, so... What's the mechanic for facing... Is there a Super Mario World mechanic that allows you to lock your facing direction? Because I know stuff like the arrow firing as Link, for instance, allows you to do that in SMB1. We actually know the mushroom is not going to be useful here because of that one tile gap. Okay. Yeah, it is a don't look left thing. I completely would not have recognized it as such, just given that... Okay, now we see that it's a Boo-activated mechanism, now I see it. I just never got far enough in this room to see it because of the way the Fire Flower was positioned on the left side. So we need some way to safely bump ourselves over to the Fire Flower while facing right. Yeah. Not sure how that's going to work, actually. Because we need to fall in, only face right. Is there something that allows us to lock player's facing position in Super Mario World and allows you to go backwards? Because it looks like we're looking for some kind of interaction that will bump us backwards, right? Oh, slope sliding. Okay. Well, we are kind of trapped on this run because of the facing direction, but I guess... Yeah, we would be doing like a kind of backwards slide. There, let's go back there and see. For instance, we're so dead. Yeah. So we would want to do some kind of slide off the right side slope. Let's grab a mushroom. And a slope slide would then allow us to maintain the facing direction. Okay. So we'd probably want to slide off the right side slope, actually. Not sure if it works the way I think it works, but we'd have to practice that. So for example, we slide down slope backwards like this. Right, I see. And we can jump like that. Okay, I got it. Okay, we gotta do that a little more cleanly. We might have to do it off the top slope, not this tiny little thing here. Unless we do it with shorter jumps. Yeah, shorter jumps, okay. This looks so silly, but it is apparently going to be a solution. Oh, we missed. Okay, fine. Yeah. Hey, Seeking, welcome back. Thank you for Realm Overworld, with a whole bunch of music notes around it, which looks very promising, given that we have already seen one Zelda music boss earlier today. Okay, no, we have the solution, we just executed it very poorly. It's going to be with short hops, very short hops, to maintain the horizontal momentum of every jump. I totally would not have figured it out by myself, so I don't really even mind being a little spoiled on this. Yeah, this little slope here is apparently our clue. We just need really short hops all the way. Slide down the edge. We need like a maximum dash into it, I think. Maintain momentum. Okay. We need to like recover as much distance as we can going into that. No, dead. Oh, you all made the same song. Okay, so bit of a music level jam session. Well, I'm really looking forward to that. I know you're a couple positions back, but we'll hopefully get through some of these efficiently. I've been stuck on this one for a bit, but we'll try to solve it. First clear is available, and I now totally see why. Let's over, maximize, and no. I feel like that is the method. We just need to execute it cleanly enough to get all the way to the Fire Flower. We've been a few spaces short of that. And... yeah. Yeah, I honestly think readability is probably most of the issue here. Like, the idea itself is fine. It's more that there isn't much of an opportunity for the player to like preview this screen and understand how it's supposed to work, just because of the way you're scrolling into the Don't Look Left setup. And that's a problem like with Don't Look Left levels in general, is that it is hard to communicate. Like, the tech is cool, and I mean, anybody who's like watched the Sieve videos knows how to do it, but yeah, we need a longer slide. Will we? Will we? Oh, come on. We got it. But it takes a few attempts just to read this thing, right? And so I'm going to wait for the P-switch to expire before we get across. Okay. Let's not die to something too silly here. And let's run around and look for some more coins. We will want to save that with a repeatable checkpoint, because I'm not doing that coin again. On the other hand, okay, so we have 2 more coins plus the safety coin. On the other hand, saving that coin probably won't help us much, because we would need to reobtain the Fire Flower anyway in order to get to the part that is to the left. So let's get some spinies out. That will lead us back to... Oh. Okay, keeping the Fire Flower is going to be a challenge, but... oh, no it's not, because we have the switch. We go back, grab the Fire Flower. We try not to zap this stuff, although actually zapping this stuff might help if we come back through the lower level later, but I don't want to drop in there yet while we don't know what's going on. Okay. So let's proceed. We know there was a fire-based lock over here with a question block that may give us something like a Yoshi that allows us to... nope. Okay, so Fire Flower is actually something that doesn't seem needed for these early parts then. Let's try to drop into the lower level then. See what happens there. Because it seems like getting the switch back to an off state plus dropping in here will get us something interesting. Okay. Okay, that actually seemed surprisingly readable. In that I could, in fact, figure that out myself. Yeah, this coin's going to be here. Left side is going to be the spiny spin jump challenge, which actually, as Fire Mario, might be a problem, because like we might actually want to lose the fireball for that part, simply because the fireball will nuke the spinies. Let's come down here and take a look. Yeah. I feel like I might want to just lose the fireball. And actually, even as Big Mushroom Mario, I feel like that's going to be a liability just because of the ceiling height. So, let's save this coin first. Save coin 3. Because the good thing is, if we don't need fire for this segment, if it's purely jump-based, it doesn't matter if we have to die and respawn. I'm going to try it small, actually. Like, I really don't feel like I'll need fire from what I was seeing. And, like, we don't really have the wiggle room to take damage anyway, and we want jump height. No, I needed to jump on the right side of that. I needed to rebounce on the right side of that last spiny, and that would give us just enough distance to clear that. So, yeah, that was correct. Anyway, to get the repeatable checkpoint, and then come back here. Okay. This now looks solvable. It was just that one puzzle coin to the right that looked very weird. We do know that there's still the Bumper and Zappa segment that's going to come after this, so... whoops. But let's just deal with one problem at a time and try to get across the key door. Yeah, I already saved the coin. I don't know what you're talking about. Like, maybe I just read your message late. Okay. Okay, let's try to reposition ourselves. Nope, just need to bounce a little bit further to the right. Hitbox there is a little weird, but we do have enough room to clear that. We'll just take a few attempts because we're a bit sloppy about things like this. Yeah. That's okay, we'll do it, we'll do it. We're reasonably close. Okay, a little further to the right. Yeah, I know it's doable. Yeah, I probably would have appreciated the extra tile of safety net, but you know, you go for the difficulty tuning you want. It's more that in a level that has a number of different tasks like this, yeah, just a matter of balance, I think, in terms of making things feel approximately similar in terms of precision. Because this is noticeably a little more demanding than any of the other stuff we've had to do. It just sticks out a little bit, but I'm sure we can do it after a few attempts. We probably need more horizontal momentum going into that bounce anyway. So that is something we can fix. There we go. Yeah, horizontal momentum was the key. We will grab the repeatable checkpoint. Let's grab a mushroom on the other one, actually. Yeah. And we are through. So we'll set the on-off state back to on, and this will be... Whoops. Okay. Nice to have a little bit of a safety net here to retry this. And that's why we want a bit of a safety net there. Okay, we need more momentum. And there will be... Alright, we'll just need to slide and then use the slide momentum. No, it's trying to get a high bounce off that bumper. Just hit that a bit early. Whoops. There we go. Oh, we needed to hit the on-off switch with the snowball. Yeah, I did see that. We were just bad at that. Okay. Slide in. No, we can't slide in while we hold that. Okay, no, we need to refresh this. Let's get through the door. Yeah. When you're holding the snowball, it's, I don't think you can slide in quite the same way, so... Okay, this looks like a different segment. Ah, here's the threatening bumper bit in the opening screen that never ended up mattering. So yeah, it was not a troll after all. It was more, well, apart from that 150 coin spot. Thank you once again for offering me the first clear. Again, main issue here I think was just the readability of the don't look left setup. I think a single arrow that you put in as a clue probably wasn't enough of a clue, and that something like a preview door that allowed you to read that screen from the other side might have improved that one quite a bit. Because, you know, at this point, most of us, well, depending on your experience, you would be able to recognize that as a don't look left room if you actually get a chance to see it. But the issue is that quite often the E-switch will activate before you have an opportunity. So, thank you for the GGs. Let's move on to the next one, and thank you once again for the submission. Okay, Charlie, thank you for sticking around. Let's look at yours. Okay, 1-4, Squirrel in the Ghost House. This one seems widely played and very well liked. Fairly high clear rate, too. So, yeah, and it looks like Charlie does indeed have a super world going already. And we know this is going to be NSMB because it involves squirrels. Okay, got some upper passages up here that we'll probably need to fly up to eventually. This guy coming out of the floor. That one too. You know, I don't actually see many people use the stretch boos, like the ones that cling to the floor, in NSMB. Like, I've rarely even seen that animation. Then there are a few styles, I think, for which NSMB is underused anyway, so... Okay, that's just gonna be ceiling. Although we do see arrows pointing... But did we miss something? Missed a 1-up, okay. Nothing critical, right? Yeah. Alright. Again, that's gonna be more ceiling, no secrets up here yet. Okay, nice little acorn refresh here. So we know that's there now in case we want it. Nice little bonus spot here. Let's try to fly somewhat accurately. And that's going to be more bonus coins. Yeah, I could tell from the clear rate that this was going to be a bit of a relaxed experience, so with more traditional style levels that are on the easy side, I do like doing as much of the optional content as we can see. Since you put that in for a reason, so... I'm actually notoriously bad at doing the wall jump as the squirrel suit, because for some reason, when I have the acorn, I keep pressing in the Super Metroid direction rather than the Mario direction, and it's just some kind of bad habit that I don't know how to shake. Hopefully we'll get more acorns soon enough, due to the terrible flight pattern there, and yes we do. Oh, we'll have to be a bit careful about this. I wonder if there is a speed timing that is a bit more efficient. That's going to be an acorn spot to the left. Will this pipe give us one? Yeah, it should. I thought so. Yeah, let's just do everything we can. Move this guy out of the way. Already coin? Great. Drag that whole boo crew over here. Probably not enough room, but you know what? Okay, let's we already checked some of these locations with the camera earlier, but we'll poke around that anyway. Oh, that could have been dangerous. Alright. Let's drop in here. Oh, interesting, okay. Okay. hurt me definitely a bit, but okay, so this will just be a nice sort of gentle flight, actually. We just need to fly over safely, which will be given plenty of opportunities to do over the next 80 seconds. And fly close enough to the ceiling that we can do a little bit of a boost at the end, so we just need to read the boo timing properly. And yeah, just need to boost at the end. Would be hilarious if we guide to this part in a high clear percentage level like this one, but we just need a slightly better timing to... Oh. Okay, no, we actually just need to twirl our way across after we boost through the first one. That seems like a better technique. So, let's fall into this ring, boost our way across, glide, and then just twirl our way over. Or we can do that. Yeah, so thank you, Charlie. Yeah, as I was saying, the stretch boos with the NSMB Ghost House is something you don't see that often. Of course, the squirrel is quite a new addition, so fun to poke around and grab pretty much everything optional. I don't think we missed anything obvious. And those of you joining me for the first time, if I clear you from the queue while the queue is still open, you are welcome to submit me more levels. Hey, Yoshi's, are you still here? I think they may have left.
Splish.
And so we'll... Oh, thanks for the follow, by the way. So if Yoshi's does not check in, we'll bump them back one spot and get to Big Cheeto first. And then we'll just remove them later if they're still not here. So Big Cheeto, you will probably be next. Unless Yoshi's speaks up quickly. Okay, so Big Cheeto, thank you for sticking around. Let's get to 7S5. Yeah, Blanco, I didn't see them either, but sometimes Twitch is a bit laggy in indicating that, so I always do a verbal check just in case, because Twitch and Warp World will make mistakes about that from time to time, and I don't want to accidentally skip somebody who is in fact lurking. Okay, my level choice. Let's see how you're doing. And oh, quite a lot to choose from, actually, and a lot with no plays. So you've been uploading very frequently over the past 2 weeks or so. Do you have a particular personal favorite that you want to see? A lot of 10-second dashes? An escort? You know what? Let's grab something that requires a first clear. Just so we can... see, I'm not very good at precision throwing, but we can maybe pick something like this. Yeah, escort. That sounds interesting. Let's give it a try. Okay, excuse me. Desert platform escort. Okay, it's 300 seconds. That'll be nice and generous next to all the other 10-second levels that we saw on the list. Heck, whoops. We totally did not compensate for the Night Desert Wind. In fact, even in this early segment here, I just barely noticed it. But I certainly noticed it when we failed in this segment. Yeah, just got to deal with the low headroom on the middle spikes there. That was something I just reacted poorly to, because I was still reading all the new material when we scrolled down and followed the coin trail. Okay, we need to be a little faster at getting off of that. Pressing against the wind and heading down to the next platform. Yeah, playing against the wind seems to be definitely the major challenge of this level. The way everything is spaced in time, you know, would be fairly straightforward under normal circumstances, but you do need to be quite brisk. That's a challenging turnaround right there. Nice quick jumps and drops. Okay, Blanco, looking forward to it when we get to your code. You might have to remind me of those descriptions when we get to you. I won't remember. I already have trouble sometimes opening a level and already forgetting the description text at the very start. But yeah, I think you submitted your Maker ID, so we'll hopefully get a good look at all that. Okay, so you have to be quick enough to reclaim the middle platform, fast enough to enter the red pipe. So yeah. I mean, I think a downward moving level like this is a bit of a risky proposition to begin with, just because of, you know, your ability to react to the camera as it scrolls down. But yeah, we'll manage. Obviously, a lot depends on how you are building the rest of the level after this. I almost think for a descending setup like this that surprisingly auto-scroll might actually work better. Because then you're not adjusting to the way the camera is snapping down every time you make a descent. But, I mean, it's fine as is, but that's one thing to definitely try if you are making setups like this. Just because, you know, there is always going to be a little bit of a challenge in reading the platforms for the first time as you follow the coin trails down. But I'm having fun with it so far, so not a big deal. I just missed that jump. Gotta get on the bottom through the pipe, okay. Yeah, and it certainly looked like from the clear stats on this that very few attempts on it have been made, so we actually have no idea about its tuning just yet. Seems pretty reasonable to me as far as platforming goes. We are just a little bit slow. And yeah, thank you for dropping by, Cinda. And thank you once again for sending that along earlier. Yeah, we pretty much need to be as quick as possible after activating the middle platform. Because the middle platform affects everything here. So pretty much as soon as we step on that, we need to hustle. In fact, I'm rethinking my whole strategy there. I guess, yeah, with the player-dependent scroll, you can really set your own pacing. That's going to be too slow because of the wind. I am kind of rethinking how I'm doing that whole thing. That's just to maximize the airtime of the central platform. Nope. Need a lower jump there for sure. But yeah, as soon as you trigger that thing, you have to go, go, go. Okay, nope. Can't just fall in, because when you're still adjusting to the wind, you'll probably miss. So, let's try that again. Oops. Yeah, slipped due to wind once again. At least the wind is in a constant direction in SMB1, so the way you compensate for it can be quite consistent as to player. Just affects some of your dash takeoffs. Oh, barely missed. Getting a bit closer, though. Steadily closer. We're starting to take advantage of the wind slightly in terms of getting a little bit more of a horizontal push and taking advantage of that around the first corner. But we did slow down a bit around the second corner that time, and so... yeah, I feel like I do need to use the wind to my advantage in terms of getting around like that. And there we go. We are not going to see checkpoint 1, so we will need to redo that. But if we have a fairly consistent method, then I'm not too worried. Big Cheeto, you will be able to re-enter after I clear this level. Like, I'll clear this level,